All right, let's try this. Hey now, Dave, Mountain Branch Music. All right, so I have in my hot little hands here. If you've seen the channel before, I've played this guitar. It's a Firefly gold top Relic style guitar. And I thought it was interesting because when I got it, I had played other Fireflies, one of which we'll see later. And this one, I knew they were most well known for their Gibson style, Les Paul style guitars. And this isn't exactly a Les Paul clone. It's to me it looks like a little more Gretsch with the cutout and everything. They got the volute and a lower headstock angle, which helps with tuning and stuff. But it's like about 8 something pounds. It's pure mahogany on the body. Probably, I think it's 3 pieces. But I noticed as I was getting it used to it, I was like evaluating the finish. I was like, oh, it's weird. They got this kind of Relic look, and most Relic guitars you can't do without some lacquer. And I was like, yeah, but there's no way it's because it was $200 at the time. But this guitar that I'm pointing at right here, that I made as a young man, I sprayed a rattle can nitro finish on it, and we'll talk about that some other time. But because, I was a young man, I was in a hurry, had things to do, and I did it outside from a rattle can. There were these little, like, specks in the finish that weren't right. They're like a little grain of sand almost. So, I noticed that on here, and which is exactly what you would expect if you're trying to build a guitar for $200 and ship it around the world. So, I put some acetone on it, and look, in the light, you can see there's a couple dull spots. And in this video mode, it's easier to see them from that distance. That's where the acetone burned through the top finish, the color coat, and the clear coat underneath. And then I did a little bit on that top here too. I don't know if we can get it to show, but so I think this might be a nitro finished guitar. And I've kind of just bonded to it as a something to play. And I posted it. I'm in a Facebook group with a bunch of people who do Relic guitars, kind of as a hobby and business, and some of them are really good. But their first response was not no way. It was like, oh man, now China's making $200 nitro finished guitars. Which, if you think about it, what would be easier is to do a poly finish and scrape up a really tough poly finish and do perfect little lines with a razor blade, or to just, there's no OSHA over there, or if there is, they pay them off or something. Just do a cheap nitro finish real quick, freeze it, chip it up with some keys or whatever, and then I'm sure a lot of this is template stuff. So I'm asking you, I'm kind of starting the conversation. So what do you think? And as long as we're here, I do like to play these guitars. We'll look at one other. I'm going through like an AC-15 model on a NuX thing. Going through, I turned on the drive pedal, is another, got a lot of hate when it came out for being a clone, but it doesn't, to me it's its own thing, sound-wise at least. the Dan Electro Cool Cat Overdrive. Here's a Ross. So let's look at the other one, because after I got it, I was pretty happy with it. I was like, ooh, I wonder how the burst is. And it's like this. So, pickups, all that stuff is going to be the same. Profile is very similar. There's just little feel differences. It's got probably a similar template on the Wear and Relic. But I haven't done the Acetone to this, but I'm very sure it's the same thing. These were sold at the same time on the website. So I'll play a little more. I didn't know I was going to reverse it immediately like that. That's kind of fun. Yeah, so I like the kind of comfortability, the way this feels. And I've played it out. I played this especially there's a really hot day. I played a few hours for like a charity thing, and it held up. I remember it was like such a hot day. Like it felt different looking at it in the sun. I got like a purple vibe from it, but standing around in the sun too long. But I'm not going to keep both of them. I'm going to kind of donate this one to a camp I have a involvement with. I got some family history with, so I'm going to hope the little kiddos appreciate a nice LP style guitar. But we'll do some sounds with this one. This is just a tube screamer. Put on that Ross after it, Prey style. So it sounds very similar to the other one, and that's kind of why I'm letting it go. But I thought I would compare it to another instrument in the price range, because I ran across this one, and I really liked it in the store. So, sometimes you're out and about and things just talk to you, and it was a little bit affordable. So this is a Epiphone. Also made in China, but under the Gibson license. But this is the traditional Pro 4 is all mahogany, and which I find adds a nice kind of like sponginess to the texture. I feel like when I finally got the Les Paul thing, like just the mass of it there's like an internal resonance and bounce to it, where you feel especially with effects and like modelers, where you're not depending on volume for any of your dynamics. Get like a little 2001 vibe. Oh, having fun now. But yeah, I like the look of it, and it's like got the black and white thing. I feel like I'm in a My Chemical Romance video or something. But all the mahogany thing about it, the pickups are a little brighter in this. If you're into Epiphones, you can look up the pickups. I think they have the word pro in them. But I love the satin feel. And what I really should do after this video will be to see if this melts too, because this is kind of a thin satin poly. So I would feel like if this melts, then the Fireflies would also be a poly. That is just kind of the nature of it. It also interacts with acetone, but it just goes to show you too, like the feel on this is really nice, and I wouldn't favor a lacquer finish over this, especially because the texture on a satin is just a little faster. It seems to be the trend, and I agree with that trend. But speaking of satin, I thought we'd also do some stuff with the old boy, my original Les Paul style guitar, which I traded an amp for, and really kind of taught me to appreciate some of the things we're talking about today. But it is heavy, but it's in tune. These are plex. This is a USA standard 50s. So a lot of the things, you like in a Strat or a hollow body when it's really alive and it sustains and interacts, just the weight, between on this kind of instrument will give you some of that, especially with effects. So like if you're doing stuff with effects or modeling stuff, so there's enough kind of inherent sustain where just a little like finger vibrato, especially with all this drive and compression. Yeah, so it's fun. So that's how it sounds. And as long as we were talking about the Fireflies, this one might go out the door pretty soon too, and also be donated, because I'm not playing it much. But when I dug it out, I really started to appreciate it and I thought it would go well in this video. Something about the output jack needs to be dialed in a little bit, especially with I think it's the right angle cable. Doesn't agree with that thing. But it's like a tele, obviously. It's a little thin. It's got a lot of kind of like shredder, Charvel, Sur style cutaways. It's roasted, stainless steel frets, all that stuff. I changed the pick guard. I think it was originally white or black, and put in these rail pickups, so you get a split here. And kind of interesting now too, they're coming out with the ERS NF 53 this week. But I bring it up because they do the Firefly does their own thing. I think they do a lot of the copy guitars. Those make them some money. But when they design their own stuff, they come up with some pretty interesting stuff. Like this is a mahogany body on a tele, so especially if you throw some rails in there, you get some interesting sounds in response. It definitely has a unique thing, and compared to alder or ash. And you can hear, of course, the longer scale length and some of that snappiness. Turn off the compressor. This is the middle. So that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed that. Try to do add a little creativity. Lord knows everyone likes a good talking about guitar stuff. And so we talked about some Fireflies, whether the relics are really Nitro, compared it to an Epiphone and a Gibson and this other one. So, hey, it's all in good fun. Try to make it creative, keep it interesting. Kind of share with you some of the thoughts I'm thinking about these things. So we'll say goodbye to this one, most likely, and this one, and wish them happy camping, and hope they make some great music for some other, the next generation. Until then, my name's Dave. It's Mountain Branch Music. Peace.